Strength in killers is always a fickle thing. You have to make them strong enough to be able to kill the survivors without making them frustrating to fight as well. Or at least that's how it's supposed to be. Roblox ASIM games aren't typically known for their killer designs, but one character kind of stands out from the rest. A character so hated universally that it puts even Fleetway Supersonic to shame, because even Fleetway has supporters. I have searched far and wide, and I have found so little support for this killer in specific that it kind of baffles me. Tripwire is easily the most hated EXE in Outcome Memories, but why? She's not particularly strong outside of one map. In fact, more often than not, the maps are either too big or too open for her to play effectively. She is one of few killers who has several survivors that just absolutely destroy her in-game on completely different aspects, and her playstyle is fundamentally the most inconsistent out of all of the cast, meaning it's a coin flip on if she can get a good start or not, and is just outclassed in almost every aspect by the other EXEs who can do everything that she can, but better. And her pick rate is easily the lowest out of all the EXEs. This is what I want to focus on today. Tripwire is hated, even though she isn't that much of a threat compared to the rest of the cast. She doesn't have any crazy comeback abilities, she can't stop the timer for 2 minutes, she has no iframe moves. So it leaves me wondering, why is Tripwire so hated? Well, to answer that, we have to start with her passives. She has a few passives, like 3, 2.5, I don't know, but we'll talk about it. She can double jump at any time. This is useful for vertical mobility or dodging stuns. In addition to this, she also has access to a glide, which has a 5-second cooldown, and along with this, she has a radar that just really pings anyone nearby to compensate for her not having any indicator moves. This makes it incredibly easy to hide from her on larger maps. And her bleed. When she hits you, this does extra damage in form of, well, bleeding. The bleed cancels any move that can be cancelled, such as metals, charges, or glide, meaning that she can be dangerous up close and combo off hits because you're not able to fight back or fly away. She has one other status effect, which is shock. This makes you give up one of your abilities and put it on cooldown, but otherwise doesn't do much. Outside of her passives, she has the least amount of moves. She only has 3, and pretty much everyone hates every single one of them. Let's start with Brighter Day. This is a move that deals 14 damage or so on impact and drains health at a consistent rate. Not only this, but the laser also spawns little red spaghetti that you can't touch or else it'll hurt you as well. For whatever reason, this red spaghetti also goes through revive iframes, so that's weird. Its only real application is a kill confirm or to snipe tails or silver out of the air, or do quick group damage if they're all together. Reach Out is a different move entirely. If she activates it in your terror radius, she'll grab you and pull you slowly towards her, dealing a minimum of about 25 damage. Once you break free, you're given a speed boost. You cannot be both affected by landmines and Reach Out at the same time. If she is stunned by a melee move during this move, she will damage the stunner and give them a shock. And Mines. Mines are easily the most controversial part of her kit, which is kind of wild because it's like the whole point of her kit. If you step on a landmine, you take damage and are given shock and knocked back. The knockback and damage are inconsistent, it just depends on how fast you were going and how close you were to the center of the mine when it went off. Mines can be disabled by a plethora of abilities, including but not limited to Amy's Hammer Throw, Silver's Rock and Time Thing, Sonic's Peel Out, Blaze's Javelin Throw, and Eggman's Shield. She may only have 10 of them at a time as well. Now, to me, her kit is a weird mix. She doesn't really fit a single mold of killer. She's a pseudo-trapper with a mix of rushdown. You know, she isn't a true trapper, meaning in order to play well, you have to get comfortable making decisions on when to trap and when to chase. As such, she's the most demanding killer to learn, unlike Colossus or Fleetway, who have more or less instant win buttons. Tripwire is kind of without those. She's the killer you can most easily beat with team, especially with a medal on the team working to keep Tripwire stunned, while others destroy her traps. Honestly, she's kind of forced into a different playstyle compared to most, because if you let her set up and control the map, she becomes really strong, and if not, she becomes easily the weakest in the cast. Her kill confirms are the slowest in the game, and have the lowest threshold too, where the highest HP 2011X can kill at is 45, not in rage, and 54 in rage. Colossus can kill at 90 with grab, and Fleetway can kill at about 60 if he hits Faithful Drain. Tripwire's highest kill threshold is technically 50 with Reach Out and a mine, but that requires a lot of planning beforehand, but the much more common one is Reach Out and Laser, which kills at about 35. I say about because sometimes Laser just does more damage for whatever reason, but it's generally at about 35 to 40. Combine this with the fact that she relies on chip damage a lot of the time, Cream and Metal become struggles very quickly. Combine low damage with long stuns and she is very easily walled out. Point is, if you're vigilant and smart, her kills don't come particularly easy, especially in Last Man Standing. Tripwire in Last Man Standing is extremely easy to loop with characters like Sonic. Since she can't pick up mines, she can lose very easily. One misplaced mine could very easily be the difference between a win and a loss in a Last Man Standing. In fact, it's not uncommon for her to be 5 minutes into the match and not have a single kill yet, since she relies heavily on chip damage and snowballing through her mines. The point I'm trying to make is that Tripwire is inconsistent. She's unplayable at her worst and decent at best. She requires much more knowledge than anyone else when placing traps, when to break chase to replace them, who to go for first. Unlike pretty much everyone else who kind of can just wing it and get away with it, Tripwire can't do that. She needs to plan pretty much every single thing she's going to do ahead of time, or she will get decimated, which is probably why you don't see Tripwire often. She requires much more attention to play than most other killers, and gets rewarded for being good less. Objectively, she should be the punching bag of the game. Well, she is, publicly, and in the game as well. Because she's outclassed by everyone in pretty much everything she does. She doesn't have crazy kill confirms like Colossus, she doesn't have crazy rushdown like Fleetway, and she doesn't have time extensions or the ability to always find someone like 2011X. The only thing she really has is map pressure, and she only does that decently, compared to Fleetway's damn near omnipotence and 2011X's ability to just find anyone he wants. So, why is she hated? She isn't particularly strong, in fact she's actually pretty weak. Well, I think the reason people don't like her is because she forces a playstyle on the survivors that others just don't. Good teamwork on the killer isn't enough. You also have to be good at sweeping the area too. Unlike other killers, she punishes recklessness and ignorance. It's not because she's OP, it's because her counterplay requires both more attention and less interactions with the actual killer unless you're Metal Sonic or Knuckles, because, let's be honest, people don't exactly like to run around the map and not interact with the killer just to disarm mines. They like to be chased, stunned. She's frustrating and boring. And it's not exactly a matter of being powerful, she's really not. This is also compounded by the fact that most people just don't need to learn her counterplay because she appears so little that you could just chalk a loss up to her being OP against a good killer of her, especially because players aren't incentivized to learn her when Fleetway and Colossus exist. So it creates a weird middle ground where she's not too strong, but rather so unknown, or at least not familiar, that people just don't know how to play against her unless they fight her a lot, which just generally doesn't happen. The thing about Tripwire is that she can't be a full trapper killer in a game like Outcome Memories, because Outcome Memories isn't designed around that playstyle in mind. It's a very fast-paced game, so you wouldn't be able to just trap something and expect for that to work, because there's no objectives and the game is too fast-paced. So what they ended up having to do is create a rushdown instead of a trapper with area denial moves. But what that did is it made her frustrating to people who don't clear the mines, because now she took away your good looping spots and is currently chasing you and you can't do much. Which I think is the problem with Tripwire. People just don't realize that playing against her requires more than just attention to the killer. You also need attention to your surroundings and the map as well. But it just doesn't make sense to me that it doesn't make sense to me that she gets so much hate, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm glazing too hard. And that is the end of the video. I like playing Tripwire. In fact, I kind of play all the killers, Colossus the most, but I dabble in everyone else. So, you know, I see the design philosophy of Tripwire. Anyways, if you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Subscribe and join my community Discord. And I hope to see you in the next one.